What's going on, guys? So I wanted to share this with you guys because this is really something that's interesting that I found in the Bible that really kind of changed and challenged the way I think about what it means to have faith, right? And it's probably a famous verse or famous chapter. And if I had time, I would read this whole chapter because I think it's so powerful. But it is in Hebrews chapter 11, and it's talking about living by faith. And I feel like a lot of times when we think about the idea of faith, we think that faith is just equated to this idea of, oh, well, I believe that something exists, right? Um, for example, I have faith that God is real, or I have faith that Jesus did die, but in chapter 11 of Romans, it actually talks about the faith that has an action attached to it, right? I'm just going to read a little bit of it just so you can get a kind of idea. But it says, now faith is the reality of what is hoped for, the proof of what is not seen. For by this our ancestors were approved. By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was made from things that are not visible. By faith, Abel offered to God a better sacrifice than Cain did. By faith, he was approved as righteous man because God approved his gifts. And even though he is dead, he still speaks through his faith. By faith, Enoch was taken away, and so he did not experience death. He was not to be found because God took him away. For before he was taken away, he was approved as one who pleased God. Now, without faith, it is impossible to please God, since the one who draws near to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. By faith, Noah, after he was warned about what was not yet seen and motivated by godly fear, built an ark to deliver his family. By faith, he condemned the world and became the heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. This is one of my favorite parts. By faith, Abraham, when he was called, obeyed and set out for a place that he was going to receive as an inheritance. He went out even though he did not know where he was going. And I feel like this challenges the idea of what we think faith is. Like, a lot of times we think that faith is just this thing that we believe. And to a certain extent, it is believing in something, right? But to put it in, I guess, today's world, let's say, my car's been giving me trouble, right? And let's say, but I'm like, no, I have faith that today when I go outside, I'm going to turn that car on and I'm going to get from point A to point B. And that, to me, is a great example of what faith actually is, because the faith is not really proven until there's an action taken, right? Like, I can have faith that my car is going to start, but unless I go down to my car and put the key in the ignition and turn it, right, then we never know what the product of that faith is. And then it begs the question, do you really have faith if you don't try to test the faith, right? If you don't make a move toward the thing that you have faith in, then there is no product. There is no fruit of that. And I never really understood how those two things work together. I always thought it was like, well, I believe this thing, so that's my faith. But faith is only really fully conceived in obedience before you know what the outcome is on the other end. Like, I might not know whether or not my car is going to start, and it might start, and I might have, so if I have faith that the car will start, I'll never know whether that faith is valid until I go down to the car and try to start it, right? But if I never take that step, how can I say that I have faith in that? It's not really faith. And just like all these people in Just like all these people in Hebrews 11, and I only gave you like the first half of the chapter. I wish I could read the whole thing, but I'm not trying to make a long video right now. All the people here, they did something by faith, and their faith was recognized by the action they took without knowing what the other side was going to be. Abraham didn't know where he was going, but by faith, he walked in the direction that he was told to go. And so faith and obedience are hand in hand. There is no separating the two. Faith and an action go hand in hand. There is no separating the two. You see what I'm saying? And I hope that doesn't get misconstrued with this idea that somehow your work can save you, because that's not true. It's about the actual meaning and product of faith, right? And if we are saved by faith, then there is this sense that when we say that we have faith in something, there's an action that we do that moves toward that thing. And so, I don't know. I just felt like that was something that had challenged, it really challenged the way I thought about what faith was and what it meant to have faith in Jesus, and what it meant to, have faith in Jesus, but also walk toward Jesus, because that's the thing that I have faith in, right? Like, I don't know what my life is going to look like on the other side of believing in Jesus, but I know that I have faith in it. So even though I don't know where that is going to lead, by obedience, I walk towards it. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my little rant. Yeah, peace.